Welcome back to Glowing Card Gaming. Tonight, we're doing some reaction videos to wild camping. Or stealth camping, excuse me, stealth camping. It's September 19th, 10 p.m. Do you know where your gamers are? And now, Glowing Card Gaming, with your host, Adam. Hey everybody. I forgot I was just going to skip that intro, so I did it again. Had some problems getting onto Kick tonight, so we're not going to be on Kick for the foreseeable future until they figure out how to get me back on with two-factor authentication. I was forced to enable that, and now I've lost two-factor authentication to Kick. I only have 18 viewers or followers on there anyway, so not a big loss. Kick's really had some problems of late anyway, showing actual deaths on camera and live streaming there. So, I mean, yes, it'd be nice to be on, but critical? Nah. One quick announcement. We do have up to 99 subs, so we just need one more subscriber on YouTube to round it out to 100. So I hope you guys can help me get there with just one more subscribe. If you get that 100 subscribe and the 101st, because I said I would do that because I realized one guy had subscribed with two different accounts, but his accounts were like a business account, but it had his name, and his regular personal account, but it had his name. So, I'm going to go ahead and, I did mention him both times, but the only new subscribe, looks like a real badass. I mean, this guy, he's something else. He is an MMA fighter. I'm looking at his page right now. David Round, BKFC. Gangster Prince of Wales, BKFC is his username. What a name. But I have a lot of respect for MMA fighters. They are tough guys. It's a tough sport. I have a cousin who does it. He is phenomenally well built, trained. He was trained in several variations of martial arts. He's very good at what he does. So there's that. But David Round, BKFC, you are number 99. Thank you for the subscribe, and really appreciate everyone who has subscribed to get us here. Getting ready to go to 100. So we're going to do I'm going to do some real life stealth, what they call stealth camping. Stealth camping is when you go and you have all your camping gear. Like, a lot of these people have really good setups in the back of their truck. So they have like a flatbed with a hard shell camper. Generally, the hard shell is fully encased, so there are no windows in it from these videos that I've seen in the past. But a lot of these are let me look at, because I searched truck camping, but let's look at stealth. Let's get into it. Search. And these are not necessarily paranormal. A lot of these are actual encounters that people... This one right on top. We're going to go to some chilling scares. Let me... do a couple things here. Let me move this around. I won't show David Round BKFC's page, but if you want to go take a look at him, he is at Gangster Prince of Wales BKFC. And he's been fighting for 17 years, it says on his channel. He's got a lot of videos and stuff there. Wow, he's got a pretty good description here. Pretty good fighter. 95 fights. 59 wins, 36 losses. And it looks like he's going to do at least 5 more fights, getting him to 100. Really cool. Really cool. And he's got more subscribers than me, 146. Help him out. Give him a subscribe. Give him a look. And see if you can get him up to 200. We can push him up there, I think. With the few people that we have, I'm sure we could get him to close to 200 if we couldn't push him over the top. All right. Enough. Oh, I closed it, which is fine because we don't really need to keep going with the sound. Here we go. Top 5 most disturbing stealth camping encounters caught on camera. Chilling scares. Here we go. Full screen it. Let's do it.
Ian on YouTube is a channel run.
Also, if you haven't checked out Chilling Scares, check him out, subscribe. Make sure you're hitting all the buttons and doing all the things. I appreciate it. The channel appreciates it. I'm sure Chilling Scares will also appreciate it.
By 30-year-old Ian, who's been posting on the platform for the better part of a decade. His content covers everything from day-in-the-life work vlogs to different adventures after hours. And while most of it is nothing more than fun, one particular encounter left him shaken to his core. On January 18th, 2024, Ian posted a video going over the disturbing experience he had while stealth camping in a McDonald's parking lot in Palm Springs, California. Stealth camping, for those who don't know, is when someone spends the night in a vehicle or tent in an area not officially designated for camping, usually while trying to avoid detection. It's often done out of necessity, curiosity, or simply for the thrill of it.
I'm glad he explained that. I knew what it was, but maybe there were some of you out there who didn't. This is a really cool thing I think a lot of people do. It's very, very low key. It's being out, well, not always in the wilderness. Sometimes they do it in the suburbs, in the middle of a city, middle of abandoned cities. It just depends.
And while it can be harmless, it also means the camper is completely exposed and vulnerable to whatever or whoever might be lurking nearby. This is exactly what happened with Ian on the 16th of January 2024. He'd been...
Now, remember what I always harp on this channel? I mean, if you go to Walmart by yourself at night, just to do a quick trip in the store, it's still open. Most Walmarts are not 24 hours anymore as they used to be pre-COVID. I mean, even really before that, mid-2000s. I worked at a couple way back in the day that were 24 hours. So it was interesting. It was interesting work. Interesting people come in at night. You get the real weirdos at night. Anyway, but today, if you go, and they close at 9. So if you're making a quick run, you're by yourself, you're just picking up, frozen pizza or whatever for dinner, I don't have a problem with that. But the thing I do have a problem with is if you're going to be out stealth camping or whatever by yourself, unprotected. Generally, they'll sleep in their cars, which is some protection. But I have a feeling we're going to see at least one busted window. I would put the under over at 1.5. So we might see 2, we might see 1 in there. Place your bets. Let me know in the comments if you think how many busted windows you think we'll see tonight. We may see none. You don't know. These videos are kind of wild. But if you're out there, again, probably should be 2 of you. Probably could only be 2 of you. I don't know how you would fit more. And in this case, with his setup, it looks like he's got a cooker in where the passenger seat is, and he's kind of, spread out in the only other spot you can sleep in. So there's not enough room here for multiple people. Might want to think about investing in a van, and some of the people I've seen that really do this seriously, vans have no windows except for the front windshield and the 2 side passenger windows. That's it. The rest of the van completely metaled off. A lot of it has actually some armor plating, a lot of bulletproofing, those types of things, because they know those people are serious and they know something bad can happen. Take somebody with you and be armed. Those are the things I always harp on this channel, and I'm going to do it again. Don't be by yourself and be armed when you do these types of things. You never know what's out there. Animals, people, well, people are animals, so all the above. So just watch yourself when you're out there doing these things.
Stealth camping for quite some time by that point, and had spent nights in much harsher conditions, like during heavy rain or in a sandstorm. So, staying overnight in a McDonald's park.
Being in a sandstorm's interesting. That's different than what I've seen. I've seen some rain. I've seen some snow. Not heavy, but a little bit of rain, snow. I haven't watched a lot of these videos, but the sandstorm, that would be an interesting and eerie experience in my mind.
Lot seemed like nothing to him. Unfortunately, he couldn't have been more wrong. After setting everything up, he went to lie down in the back of his car.
You don't want to be wrong out here.
Just as he was about to fall asleep, he was interrupted by the sound of someone repeatedly trying to open his car's door.
See, that's almost always what these videos are about. And it's usually right about 1 o'clock, midnight 1, somewhere in there it starts, the weird stuff can happen to you. So if you're out there, it would be really difficult for me to sleep knowing these things have happened to many other people. From midnight to 4 a.m., generally that's the time where these things can hit the fan. So just to reiterate and caution everybody, really want to be cautious out there if you're doing this, and especially between those hours, midnight and 4 a.m. I'm sure that's what we're seeing here, and he's got clear open windows. So I am sure we're going to see somebody. What's the bet? Smash window on this one or not? Tell me in the comments.
Immediately got up to see who it was, and this is what he came across.
Wait, what does he have? What kind of car?
He immediately got up to see who it was.
What is that? Oh, is that a Kia? Yeah, it's a Kia. And it says airbag. I had to read it backwards because it's mirrored. But this is a Kia. Interesting.
And this is what he came across.
He went camping in his Kia.
What's going on? What's up? What's up, man? What's going on?
Okay, I'd start the car right now.
What are you doing?
There was a man standing outside the passenger door.
Start the car
more unsettling
and
was
take
that
off.
The man never said a word, even as Ian repeatedly called out to him, trying to get some kind of explanation for what he was doing.
Hey, bro.
And definitely don't open any of the cars. Yeah, he's getting ready to get the heck out of Dodge. Let's pull the thing off the windshield. Yep.
Weird, bro.
Despite his panic, however, he made the wise decision to stay locked within his car and quickly drive to a more hidden spot in the lot.
That's
but
smart.
That wasn't enough.
I don't see a lot of people doing that, by the way. Generally, this is kind of an area where you can escape from. He's just staying in some parking lot. I've seen people pull up in RVs in the Walmart parking lots and camp for days in the Walmart parking lot and then take off. But something like this happens, yeah.
Because just a few minutes later, Ian spotted the same man walking around the parking lot, possibly trying to locate his car. Fearing for his safety, he drove to a completely different location and managed to sleep through the rest of the night without any incident. Still, the question remained, who was this man and what exactly was he trying to do? Ian...
Now, to be fair, what I think happened here, unfortunately, this guy probably has a car that's similar to this. Because he was just trying to get in. He just kept trying the handles, right? He didn't smash in a window or anything like that. This guy probably legitimately thought, hey, this is my car. This guy might have been a little drunk too. And if so, he may have thought a couple of things. One, oh, I'm an idiot. This isn't my car. And was so embarrassed about it, he just didn't say anything. Like, he didn't want to admit anything. Like, oh, I'm an idiot. This is not my car. I don't know where I am. I'm drunk, whatever. The other thing, that why he might not have said anything. Oh, I blanked. I totally forgot why I thought he might not. Is that it wasn't anything like malicious. I don't think this guy was being malicious. He just was embarrassed to be there. Thought that was his car, and just didn't know that he was going into somebody else's car. I can't remember what it. If it comes to me, I'll stop and tell you what it was.
Never made a follow-up or shared any more info regarding the encounter in the video's description, so we can only speculate on what happened that night. Now, it's entirely possible that he was just a harmless, mentally ill person who wasn't fully conscious of what he was doing.
I don't know if he was mentally ill, by the way. I think he might have been drunk. Or if he wasn't drunk, that's even worse. But then you see him wander around, still looking for his car. And he may have just forgot where he parked, and, or maybe he was mentally ill. I mean, that is also a possibility. There is it looks like another gray Kia right over there in front of the McDonald's. So, possibly. Who knows?
This could explain why he didn't answer when Ian called out to him and just calmly walked away without a word. However, a far more likely explanation is that the act of trying to break into Ian's car was completely intentional, and when he was caught, he just acted confused and harmless to seem less threatening. Perhaps he really thought the car was empty and was trying to steal it. Or maybe he knew Ian was inside and had intentions to rob him, or something far more sinister.
Sure is.
His strange behavior also suggested that he might have been under the influence of some kind of drugs, which would have made him even more unstable and, by extension, more dangerous. Fortunately, Ian managed to drive away unscathed.
There's a lot of assumptions being thrown here. I mean, I did it too. I'm not saying but I think my assumptions were a little more reasonable and less, I don't know, accusatory, because Chilling Scares is accusing him of being mentally ill, being a thief, breaking into the car, being on drugs, all of which could be true. I don't know. I just would rather err on the side of this guy might be a little drunk and just forgot where he parked and legitimately thought, oh, this is my car. And when he realized there was somebody in the car, oh, that was the other thing. He might have thought this was his car, and he might have been quiet because he thought, what's this guy doing in my car? And he's actually trying to work it out. What is happening here in his drunken state of mind? And then maybe slowly it dawned on him, oh, this isn't my car. And you can kind of see as Ian is walking away or driving away, this guy kind of slowly peels off and walks away like he finally realizes, yeah, I'm an idiot. This is not my car.
Before he could find out the man's true intentions.
I hope it wasn't bad
intentions.
intentions.
2024, stealth camping YouTuber Brendan Explores posted a video of him spending a night in the small village of Jaywick, England. The thing about Jaywick, however, is that it's been named as the most deprived town in all of England. The combination of high unemployment and poor living conditions has pushed many of its residents toward a life of crime. Brendan, however, wanted to see the village firsthand to decide whether it was truly as bad as the media made it out to be. His first impressions of the place were quite good.
It looks, this looks worse than Detroit. I've been to Detroit. At least in Detroit, you'll have, everything he's showing, all the buildings are all of them are boarded up, windows busted out. None of this is livable. In Detroit, it's like every other house, or at least back when I went there. Granted, this is about around 2000. Every other house, almost literally, you'd have one house there that looked nice, somebody was living in, taken care of. The next house, or the house on either side, was all boarded up and hollowed out, not livable. And then the houses on the side of those, people were living in those, made them look really nice. It was like every other house. You know what they should do in Detroit is bulldoze those houses and increase the yard size and just give the people that have the houses that are living there more yard. It would increase the land value. Anyway, just something occurred to me.
With him admiring the natural landscape surrounding the village. What he didn't realize at the time was that this lighthearted escape to the...
Now here's a lot of nice area. There's a lot of businesses here that are actually up and running. Churches, buildings, looks like some touristy buildings. So it looks like this is the commercial part of town, and there's probably a little bit of money here.
Countryside would soon spiral into complete disaster.
Uh-oh.
It began with him driving through the town and searching for a discreet spot to park his van so he could settle in before it got dark. He eventually found a parking lot that looked promising and decided to make it his home for the night. But it didn't take long for him to start noticing a series of red flags in the area, like people riding around with gangster rap blaring from a speaker. And a group of street racers speeding down the road right in front of the parking lot.
So, it might be inconspicuous to him, but to me, he stands out like a sore thumb here because he's the only car in that entire parking lot in this area. If I were going to do that, there's a store off to his left here, it looks like. I would park in the store parking lot to start, because then it might be like somebody just went in to grab something. They might come back at any moment, so it might delay somebody from doing something to the van. Busted window here. I'm going to call it. There's a busted window here.
Making him a prime target for any would-be robber. So, after thinking about it for a few minutes, he thought it would be best to leave the parking lot and find a more secluded spot for camping. He eventually went down a dirt trail and parked in the middle of nowhere, without any houses or major roads nearby. This turned out to be the worst decision Brendan could have made in that situation. Because at around 2:30 a.m., about 4 hours after he went to sleep, he was woken up by the sound of someone walking around his van.
Okay. At this point, it's 2:30 in the morning. You're in an area that no one else should be in. At this point, it's time. When you hear somebody walking around the van, this is about the moment. I wouldn't worry about any of the stuff in the back. I wouldn't pack up jack. I wouldn't remove any of the curtains, none of it. I would turn on one light in the back. Now that light, I noticed it has curtains and stuff, but it didn't look like the curtains completely covered the windows. But I would turn on one of the overhead lights, and I would start getting ready to drive away. I would move up to the front driver's seat, get ready to start this sucker up and drive off. I don't know what he's going to do. He's probably going to listen, but I'm almost sure we're going to hear a window bust. This would be a great time to also be armed. I get it's Britain too. They usually don't have weapons there.
This person then tried to open the van's sliding door.
Good job locking everything. At this point, when somebody actually physically touches and tries to get into the car, I'm out. They definitely know this is not their vehicle, because this is such a weird place to park. It's out in the middle of nowhere. I am out. I'm out.
But before Brendan even had a chance to fully understand his predicament, this happened.
Hey! One window! We're up to one. Oh, man.
Whoever this person was shattered the passenger side window before running away once Brendan started shouting. In the video's description, Brendan speculated that this person was likely trying to steal the mini refrigerator he had on the passenger seat. While this might not be entirely accurate, there's still some truth behind it. Judging by the fact that the intruder fled the moment they
trying to steal a van,
it's likely they were simply looking to steal something, nothing more. As
I don't
how
disagree.
They managed to find this van in the middle of nowhere, it's entirely possible that they stalked him from when he was in town. However, given these circumstances, this situation could have turned out a lot worse. As one comment under the video pointed out, when you said you had found the perfect quiet spot after driving away from town down a quiet pitch-black lane in the middle of nowhere with nobody else around for miles, at that point I was absolutely terrified. How on earth you managed to go to sleep to begin with amazes me. A few blokes with their hoods pulled down and armed, and you wouldn't have stood a chance. While nothing truly tragic occurred, the experience was terrifying enough to rattle Brendan. Instead of staying the night, he drove through the darkness until daybreak just to make it back home, which was ultimately the right call. He's still making stealth camping videos, but now he's far more cautious about where he parks, especially when it comes to
Did he camp in a Kia? In an IKEA? Man,
in March of 2025,
that's ballsy.
A camping YouTuber named Daniel Mark Brown planned a stealth camping trip in the woodlands surrounding Oswestry, England. His plan was simple: travel alongside one of the many hiking trails in the area and then go off-trail to find a good stealth spot. And this worked better than he expected, finding the perfectly hidden camping area in no time. After setting...
Okay. Most of the time when I see stealth camping, it's almost never with a tent and off to the side in a personal unit, like meaning, a non-car. It's anything other than a car with some hard shell on it. Usually it's a car or van, or usually it's a van. But some of them have been trucks with the shell on them and the flatbed, and they've really made it nice on the flatbed and cushiony, so they can sleep, and they have a hot plate, that they unpack and they cook something on. Generally, what I would say, if you're going to do that, I was just thinking about it. This is kind of the same with cat, and we have cats, so it made me think of this. When you're done eating, cooking, whatever, and I know you have to let everything cool down, but I think before you go to sleep, you break it down, put everything away, so that you have, one, more room to sleep, but two, if you need to make a quick getaway, everything's already buckled in and secured. So if you have to drive off, you just hop in the driver's seat, put the key, turn it on, start going. Don't run over anybody if you can help it, but get the heck out of Dodge.
Down his supplies, Daniel went to the nearby river to cook a meal before heading back to the spot he'd found earlier. By the time he came back, it was already starting to get dark, and the trail was starting to empty out, giving Daniel the peace of mind to wind down and call it a night. However, what happened next made him realize the true danger he was in. After laying out his sleeping bag, settling down, and finally falling asleep, 90 minutes had passed when he was suddenly jolted awake.
I've 100% been spotted. Right, I'm trying to keep calm and keeping calm.
Is this... I don't... Like, for the stealth camping, and especially what he's doing, is this, like... you're trying not to be spotted or have an encounter or any of that. That I understand, because you just kind of want to be out of the way and quiet, and you're just spending the night somewhere. But when you are caught, isn't that a thrill? Is that why you're doing it, just for the thrill of possibly getting caught? When you do, what's going to happen? I don't like that. If that's your thing, great. All the more power to you. But I think we're going to see why you probably shouldn't be doing it.
I'm almost too scared to breathe here.
Huh?
I think a dog or something just came in.
Daniel was woken up by the cracking of branches, followed by the light from a flashlight. He eventually found the courage to unzip his sleeping bag to see who was out there.
Camera. Hopefully it has a light on that camera.
Oh, that's right. They're looking straight at me. I'm trying not to panic.
Just call out, too, because when you start making noise...
By this point, he couldn't think of anything else to do but call out to the person who was now aiming the flashlight at him. But instead of getting a reply of any kind, the person just turned around and disappeared into the woods, never to be seen again.
Weird.
Hello?
Oh, I wonder if he was really spotted. I think two things that could be possible right here. One, this guy was debating on whether or not he should go up and kill this guy. And when the guy woke up, unzipped his tent, and spoke to him, he was like, no, I can't do it. Too far away. This is too risky. He's vocal. I'm going to get caught. Or two, he didn't know there was anybody there. And when he spoke, all of a sudden he's like, oh, there's somebody else here. I mean, it could have just been coincidence. The light was shining. Because you look at all the branches and stuff there and all the shadows it would be casting. I don't know if he actually saw this guy. I mean, it's weird and creepy that the light stayed on him for as long as it did. But the guy was probably, it could have even been the guy was trying to figure out what he was looking at. He saw a weird shape because that tent that he has is like a sleeping bag with a tent on it. It's very strange. It's almost like a cocoon that is bowed out. So it looks weird. So the guy's probably trying to figure it out, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, there's somebody there, I'm out. And one of those things could be true. I don't know. If you think something else, please let me know in the comments. I think we're going to need it tonight.
They haven't been about, I haven't seen a single light now for maybe 5-10 minutes. I don't even know. I've been just trying to keep as calm as possible. But when they walked off and the light went out, I don't even know which direction they were. But
all right, we're done with
in that direction.
That's done.
I'll forget it. Let's just go.
This experience startled him enough to quickly pack his stuff and hightail out of the wooded area.
I agree.
However,
I think this is a smart play, no matter what. Once something weird happens to you, that's kind of it for the night, no matter what. I would have put the under over at 1 had I known this wasn't going to be a vehicle. I knew there was 5 of them. You know what? Let's find one more where they have a car. Let's find one more. We'll see if there's a window smashing on that one. We'll give you all a chance to get to either 2 or stay at 1 here.
The person with the flashlight had malicious intent. Leaving the campsite wasn't going to be an easy task. The way they refused to respond to Daniel's hello was unsettling enough. But how they silently turned off their light and disappeared into the woods suggested they might have been hiding, waiting to ambush him to rob him, or possibly worse. That being said,
that's why I think it's a smart play for him to get out, because this person, if they had bad intentions, may have thought, you know what, I'm gonna get out of here for now. I'm gonna leave this guy alone. And I'm going to wait a couple hours, and then I'm going to come back. And if he's still here and he's sleeping, then I can do something. Won't have the light on him. I'll have the element of surprise. I can get him at that point.
It's entirely possible that the mysterious person was just someone walking their dog at night or something else completely innocent. As for why they didn't reply to Daniel, it's possible they were just as scared as he was after hearing a hello from the darkness of the woods. However, we also can't rule out the possibility that they were trying to sneak up on Daniel for some sinister reason, only turning around once they realized they'd been spotted. Whatever the case may be, Daniel made it out of the woods safely without encountering the same person again. Ellie and Graham are an elderly duo from the UK who travel around the country.
I like the way this one's starting out. There's 2 of them. There's 2! Are you armed? Please be armed!
In their camper van while vlogging about their adventures on
camper
YouTube.
Van!
In November of 2022, they were on one of their trips when they had to urgently travel back home due to an emergency. However, they were too far away to make it back in one day. After searching online, they found a stealth camping spot on the outskirts of a town called Altrincham. It was a fairly small car park, but the couple was in a hurry.
So, I don't get it. Why would you search online for a stealth camping spot? Anywhere anywhere you go could be a stealth camping spot, realistically. Cars get left parked in places all the time. Close to where I am, there's some casinos, and there are parking garages there. There have been cars parked in those casino parking lots literally for years. I'm thinking of one specifically right now. If I were to go back up and it was still there, I think it might have been there for like 10 years. Like it's definitely abandoned. The last time I saw it, it was completely covered in dust. Like actual dust, as if it was in somebody's basement. I mean, it wasn't dirt because it was inside, and there might have been some dirt kicked up by the cars and some exhaust as cars drove by over the years. But it's weird thinking about that. And no one turned it in. No one looked or thought twice about it. Now I'm thinking about it. If it's still there, I am totally going to get the plate and see if I can look it up online and see if there's a car that has been missing for a while. And maybe, unfortunately, this could have been something I did years ago, but if somebody's a missing person or something, this could be a big clue to what happened. I'm a little concerned about it. Definitely going to go back and check it out sometime soon. Although the casino we used to go to has changed ownership, and the last couple times we went there really wasn't friendly. Didn't win at all, like no playbacks or anything. Like it's weird when you put money in and you get nothing back. Like you push it and you might win what you played back. And you might do that quite a few times, and eventually you spend it all. But at least there's some times where you get a little back, you give a little more. You know, it's a give and take thing. But it's fun, and you might get a bonus, and there might be some action there. But it just wasn't. And I think that's why we hadn't been back there in a while. Maybe we'll go back there at some point in the next few weeks. I will, because I'm genuinely curious to know what happened if that car is still there, if it's still there, and nobody has reported it in all this time. I'm probably going to report it. It's very strange that it's been sitting there for so long. Anyway. I don't. The whole point is, why are you looking online to a place where a lot of people report it's a stealth camping spot? Does that make it a stealth camping spot if everybody knows where it is? It kind of defeats the point, I think. So for me, I would just go find a store or somewhere and just spend the night in the lot, somewhere like that. Not the stealth camping here. And they have an RV, so it's a little more inconspicuous. Heck, if this is an emergency situation, and they have an RV, there are RV parks. You can rent a lot for one night and just park there and stay at night there and then drive off in the morning. It's probably what I would have done.
So they didn't have any other choice but to camp there for the night, hoping to get back on the road the next morning. What they didn't expect, however, was that this would spiral into the most terrifying experience of their entire camping journey.
Uh-oh.
By the time they got to this location, it was
Smash
almost dark
windows?
out. They parked their van and settled in for the night, going to sleep at around 11 p.m. But then at 1 a.m., both of them woke up to the sound of...
See, what am I telling you guys? Midnight, 4 a.m. Midnight, 4 a.m. 2:30, 1 a.m. This is the time. This is the time.
Of loud music blaring from a car. However, the music stopped soon after, so they brushed it off and began settling back into their bed. That's when they both heard a disturbing bang coming from their own van. It was loud enough that they thought a tree had fallen onto their van. They quickly rushed outside to see what had happened, and this was the shocking sight they came across.
Just can't believe it. We've just been woken up with a loud bang. And,
Brick. I don't think we need to find another car, folks. We're at 2 windows now. 2. The under over 1.5. Look at that. We pay him. Pay him up.
something on the floor there. Or is that glass? 2 bricks.
Another brick in the wall.
Just smashed Merlin's windows while we were sleeping. So no, we don't recommend this as a place to stop. They smashed the windscreen, but Graham's hoping he can drive with that.
Oh.
But here's us, in the middle of nowhere.
It doesn't look too bad. I think they.
Window and a cracked windscreen.
I think.
Miles from home.
I think they can
After some
drive with that
investigation,
windshield,
they
but
found 3 bricks around the van, which was severely damaged. The windshield was cracked, the passenger side window was completely shattered, and the van had a massive dent behind the sliding door. More troubling than the physical damage to the van was the psychological impact on Ellie and Graham, who are now absolutely terrified.
Sure.
It's also
No,
possible that this could have been a...
I don't disagree. Something like that happens to you, it can put you off from doing some stealth camping and being out there. I think it's just not great. So it is what it is.
Trap designed to lure them out of the safety of their locked van. However, even after hours had passed, no one approached the couple, attempted a break-in, or
Weird.
made any kind of move toward them. But instead of bringing comfort, this only made the two even more unsettled. They were just attacked with multiple bricks, yet they had no idea who did it and why. After talking to the family from another camper van that
That's
was
fair.
parked nearby, they learned that the attacker came in a car, as the other family heard tire screeches after the attack. Ellie and Graham also figured that this was a group effort, because despite the multiple bricks, there was only one...
I can tell you what probably happened here. These are dumb kids that thought, oh, this will be funny. Ha ha ha. We'll throw bricks at this, it'll shatter the window, we'll take off. It'll be hilarious. Idiots.
collision sound. In other words, there were at least 3 suspects who threw bricks at the same time. Why would anyone attack an elderly couple out of nowhere and then leave without gate?
I don't think they knew they were an elderly couple. I really don't. I think they just did it out of chaos and being I think they were kids, to be perfectly honest, teenagers. And they were being rambunctious and stupid and probably drunk and thought, oh, this will be funny.
Meaning anything from it. Maybe they just wanted to scare off campers for whatever reason. But if that were the case, why was the other van spared completely? Unfortunately, there's really no clues to help answer these questions. No faces were seen, no voices were heard, and no clear motive ever emerged, leaving the entire incident a complete mystery. And while Ellie and Graham were too scared to ever go...
It's better than it could have been, because when they said that, and I didn't see any of the bricks and they hadn't mentioned that yet, I thought the loud pop or loud bang was a gunshot and somebody had shot out the window and there was a bullet hole somewhere. But I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Stealth camping again after this incident. It seems by now they've since made a complete recovery and are back on the road again. On the 15th of July 2022,
Interesting
YouTuber
channel.
The Abandoned Camper uploaded a video of her stealth camping in an abandoned cemetery from the 1800s.
I couldn't do that. Sorry, I'm not camping. This one will probably be paranormal. That's what I'm guessing, because you don't stay in a cemetery without there being something that happens. You know, even as I stop this, I don't know if you guys can see here. Let me move the mouse, like right here.
Things started
Oh,
off...
let's go back. Right here. What's that black shape? Is that another tombstone or something there?
Of her stealth camping in an abandoned cemetery from
It
the...
looks weird. It looks like a black rock. Maybe that is a tombstone or something, a bigger tombstone. I was just thinking when I seen that there was a shadow figure or something there.
1800s.
Okay.
Things started off quite normal as she found a clearing hidden in the thick foliage and began unpacking her camping gear. After
Rattlesnake.
setting up camp, she decided to explore the cemetery to pass the time until nightfall.
Is she by herself? Is she by herself? Is she unarmed, by herself, in a cemetery, stealth camping at night? Stupid.
And that's when things started to take a strange turn. As she was filming the gravestones, she began to hear what sounded like a bunch of kids screaming.
Well, at least she's being quiet so we can hear. Holy crap, can you make more noise?
She assumed she was alone in the cemetery. However, she could not have been more wrong. As she was going back to her camp,
Whoa,
she
there's
saw a group
some
of kids in the distance who likely knew about her.
Those weren't kids. Those were raccoons. And they looked curious. They didn't look, rabid, but they are wild animals, so you want to be careful around them. And they could be rabid. They could have rabies, so you want to be careful of that, too.
Presence.
So if you can't tell, it's pretty dark.
Yeah, I can barely see you.
Right now. But there are
Really?
kids here. Like
What?
Young kids. In the cemetery. And I'm wondering how active this place actually is. Do people come here at night and kind of party in the forest or something? That dog kind of ruined it. Not ruined it, I shouldn't say that. The dog barking, I didn't want to disturb anybody, especially since I'm not supposed to be here. So I think I'll finish my exploring tomorrow morning. And because there seems to be still a lot of stuff here. See?
That might have been, it did sound like, the third part, the screaming, I could attribute to animals or something like that. But that last little bit sounded like somebody was like howling a little, like doing some yahoos or something, almost in celebration, and then trailing off with some word, like they're drunk and they're talking to somebody.
Kieran, I think they know I'm here.
Well, you have your light on, so... And you're the quietest person, that ever stepped on pine cones.
However, she still kept her camera rolling just in case, and even made sure that she wasn't followed back to the campsite.
I'm gonna keep this recording.
That's wise. That is wise. Just all things on the level.
Stop and find out what they're doing. If they're actually watching me or not. Oh, I can see them. I just don't want them to see where I'm going. Okay. I think they're gone.
Once back at her stealth campsite, she started a small fire to cook her food. Unfortunately, this turned out to be a huge mistake.
Yep.
Because shortly after starting the fire, she started hearing the sound of people talking and walking toward her in the forest.
There are people walking around back here. They don't have headlamps on, but, like I said in my last video, I do not like being around people in the middle of a forest, especially when it's dark out.
Well, why are you out there?
I might pack up and get out of here. I think the coast is clear.
I wouldn't even wait.
It's unclear what the kid's intentions were, and we likely won't ever know, as she made the wise decision to...
Well, I don't know if it was a wise decision or not. They didn't approach her. They didn't do anything. I don't even really know if they knew she was there. Probably, right? Probably knew when she'd started the fire and they'd moved closer to her. They probably had given themselves a way of knowing she was there, knowing knowing where her presence was, where her campsite was. But then they didn't really do anything about it. So what? I think she freaked out over no real reason, but I don't disagree with her call to leave. I think that's an abundance of caution to get the heck out of there. I think she did the right thing, too.
To avoid any risk by packing up her things and quickly leaving the cemetery, making sure to remain as quiet as possible.
All right. That's some stealth camping. I think that's a great video. You guys are probably all watching Queso or something tonight because this is Friday. But I like these stealth camping videos. I just like them better when they're out of the car. And it's a little creepier because most of those, are real encounters with real other people who are probably a little crazy or deranged, or they just want to steal something or something else like that. They're more interesting to me, what's going to happen. So there's that part of it. Anyway, I hope you like the stealth camping videos. Definitely going to be doing some more of these. I just like them too much. So we're going to be doing that. Or at least I'll be doing that. If none of you are with me, That's okay. All right. I'm going to end this one. I got to use the restroom and do, do some things, maybe get a little snack or something to eat, and then I'll be back down to play some Hollow Knight, and we'll be on that here for a little bit. And then we'll probably do more of that tomorrow if I don't have anything else going on. I can't remember if I have anything going tomorrow, but we'll do some Hollow Knight and some other stuff tomorrow. Just anticipate that. Follow me on X to be sure, because I post on there quite often if I'm not going to stream, because a lot of times I get too tired because of my actual job, and like what happened Thursday night of this week, I had to stay up late Wednesday working on some stuff overnight. Well, not overnight, but for work, and I stayed up a little past midnight, which is normally when I would finish streaming or gaming. And then, in all reality, the cats kind of kept me up a little bit that night. So Thursday, I was pretty refreshed from my actual day job. But when things came down towards the end, I was like, oh, I can't do this. I'm way too tired. So I posted on X, and I didn't stream that night. So follow me there. Be sure to subscribe. We need one more to hit that magical number, 100, on YouTube. Still 38 on Twitch. Kick has 18, but it's going to stay there because I'm not back on there because they can't figure out their 2FA. I did write them, so hopefully they'll respond. Hopefully I'll be able to get the 2FA back, and we'll get back on there. So in the meantime, if you see me on Kick, be sure to subscribe there as well. Whatever format you like. I'm still trying to get on TikTok, but it looks like you need like 1,000 followers on TikTok before they'll let you go live on there. So that's so backwards. I need to go live to get subs, but I can't get subs unless I go live. Weird thinking, but it's China, so what do you expect? Weird thinking. All right, enough of that. Enough of these stealth camping videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in about 10 to 15 minutes with some Hollow Knight. Until then, be good to each other, and I'll see you at that time.